Hello and welcome to the channel. Today it's all about being calm and relaxed. So you join me today on this rather calm and relaxed photography vlog from the beautiful iconic Delamere Forest. Now the beauty with this place is there's no rushing water, there's no streams, there's no waterfalls that come through here. It's just purely marshland and trees, and that's really what I'm looking for today. I've got a beautiful clear day, a couple of clouds in the sky, but I think we should get some nice golden light suddenly coming through the trees later on, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm always inspired by Simon Baxter and people like that who come to do forest photography, and yeah, just not only take an amazing image but actually images that you can almost touch. The textures in them are so real, and that's what I'm trying to replicate today, just sort of see how difficult it actually is. A couple of years ago I went to Simon Baxter's gallery. He hosted an event in Helmsley, North Yorkshire. I think it was 2018, September 2018. And it really inspired me. Well, it kind of did two things. It inspired me to do woodland photography, but actually when I left I was a little bit put off because I thought he's actually done that very well. So yeah, a bit of respect to him, but I'm going to have a look today and just sort of see what I can get from around here. As I said, Delamere Forest is purely about the trees. There's a lake in the centre, and it's there's quite a lot of marshland, so that's what I'm going to focus on today. So come and join me. What I always find interesting about woodland photography is wherever you go when it's sort of stressful situations like the dentist or the doctors or hospitals, they always tend to have a woodland scene on the wall somewhere. Check it out next time you go. But yeah, there's always a woodland scene because it always puts people at rest and relax, and it always gives you these memories of walking around forests. That's what I want to try and incorporate today, that feeling of relaxing. Hopefully it comes through. So for those of you who don't know, Delamere Forest is just on the outskirts of Frodsham, not far away from Runcorn. And it's a place I used to come to and bring the dogs years and years ago with my parents. But also I used to come racing here on mountain bikes. There used to be about 15, 20 of us that used to meet up on a Sunday morning and come through, blasting through the forest. Oh, good times. And I came here last year with my son on the bikes as well, and we were it's actually in the middle of a thunderstorm as well, so it was belting down with rain, but really good fun. And halfway around he decided to brave and go through a puddle. What he didn't realise is there was a log halfway through the puddle, so he got straight into the puddle. The front wheel hit the log, stopped him immediately. Instead of putting his feet down, he just fell sideways while shouting, "Daddy!" Children, hey? So far I've been doing a lot of these shots handheld, and it's something I really enjoy doing, handheld photography. Although the tripod slows you down and it makes you look for a better composition, I just do prefer yeah, that looks good, I'll take a shot that way. Now whether that's great photography, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to slow down in a minute and get the tripod out and actually yeah, focus more on what I'm taking, and instead of just bang bang bang, although I do love doing that. Oh, so I'm actually struggling on the main paths at the moment. Just had a good old walk around, and although there's a few compositions that are there that will possibly work, they just don't seem to be working on camera. Now, I don't know if it's still trying to get used to the 14-24 on the front of this. It's the first time I brought it out in forest photography. Now, it may be ideal for landscape photography, it might, you know, to get everything in, but it seems to be getting too much in, certainly when I'm looking for intimate, even when I go close in, and I just can't seem to build the shot correct. So I'm going to sort of go off the beaten track a little bit, sort of get into deeper woodland, and what I'm looking for is patterns, but chaos in the patterns. So preferably trees that go across the image with one that's just tilted to one side. Yeah, I don't know, really don't know. Not too bothered, because like I say, today's all about relaxing. It's all about just enjoying the fresh air and enjoying the actual being in the forest and just walking around and yeah, enjoying, I suppose. But I would like to get a couple of decent images for the video, but I'm sure they'll come. Now the sky is starting to cloud over a little bit, so there's a few big clouds that have just gone across, as you can probably tell by the light, so it's sort of softened everything down. Now I'm not particularly after that. I'm after these harsh shadows, really streaking shadows coming across, and maybe a little bit of dappled, mottled light going across the sort of foreground as well. But let's see what happens with these clouds and see what we get to. But yeah, it's just great being out. I'm surprised actually how busy it is here today. As soon as I set the tripod up and get to take the shot, there's a couple of cyclists that go by, a couple of dog walkers, and people just out enjoying the fresh air, I suppose. I suppose if everyone's in lockdown, people are just getting out and enjoying the nature and the woodland. So yeah, I don't blame them really. So I'm continuing walking around. Now there is an area that I've seen that's is really quite dark and quite gloomy. Now that's probably ideal for what I'm looking for. Now once this light starts to hit, again, what I'm looking for is like really dark shadows and really bright highlights within there. Have a real contrast sort of image. Yeah, whether it will happen or not, I don't know, but I'm going to head there now and just sort of see what it's going to be like. But yeah, the sun isn't playing ball at the moment. It's gone behind this big cloud, followed by another one, followed by another one. We'll get something. So I've come down to the lake just to sort of gather my thoughts and sort of understand what sort of images I'm going to get from this lens I'm using, the 14-24. And I've not been thinking about it right. I've been sort of standing too far back, as I would with any other lens with my 24-70, my 70-200. But that's not what this lens will do. So what I'm looking at now is actually going low to each of the trees and sort of shooting up, so I'll be able to get this whole sort of magnificent glory of the tree, certainly with the golden leaves on the branches as well. So that's what I'm going to be focused on now. It just took me a little bit of time to sort of get out of what I was doing, sort of get my mind sort of set and understand actually what am I looking for from these images. So peaceful, so beautiful here. yeah, you kind of forget this is on your doorstep. And I think that's what we've got certainly through lockdown. Whilst essential travel is sort of out there, but we can get out for recreational use, I think it's an ideal opportunity to actually go around and actually look at our own local areas and sort of see what we've got out and about. And that's certainly what I'm doing today. So I've come across the other side. I was really struggling on that side. All the paths are really sort of purpose built, and that's not what I'm looking for within these images. It looks more like a centre parks across there. So the beauty with this forest is it's actually split into thirds by the main road. So I've come across to the side, which looks a little bit more rugged and a little bit more what I'm looking for, to be honest. So I feel a little bit more at ease now, certainly since I've had something to eat and time to recap of what I'm looking for from these images. So yeah, I've gone handheld again. It's just a little bit easier to get as low as I want to try and get the drama of these trees, certainly with the height and everything else incorporated. So yeah, the ISO's ramped up. The f-stop is lower. Sort of shooting around about f4 to 7.1 just to get the light in. Now the weather conditions have changed for the worse, really. I did have quite bright sunshine when I got here. It's now gone a little bit overcast, a little bit dull, a little bit flat. There are little promises of light coming through, so it's a case of just sort of waiting and getting those when the sun shines and ignites the tree, really. So yeah, I'm going to crack on now and see what I can get. But oh, it's just joyous being out and sort of walking through the forest. It's just amazing. You can't see far, obviously, with the tree. You can't see the woods for the trees. The beauty with forest photography is you don't have that much sort of distance to worry about within your image. It's just sort of very intimate and yeah, close, because the view just is stopped by all the trees. So yeah, it's very, very different, and it's only something I want to come back to and I won't say master, that's probably a bit high up there, but certainly get better at woodland photography. Yeah, it is drawing me towards it. Right, let's see what we can get. Okay, let me try and explain my frustration. So I've got a tree here, beautiful colours. There's quite a lot of leaves still left on it, so there's a lot of depth to the tree. Now, from this angle, so this is the tree I'm talking about. From this angle, I've got this beautiful sort of lead into it with all these leaves on the ground, all this golden colour sort of lead in. But I've got a tree, this tree bang in front of it, which takes away from the main tree behind it. So you think, I'll go from the front and sort of see what I can get from there. So as we walk around to the front, we've got more and more of these beautiful leaves. I mean, you can see by the tree, it's absolutely gorgeous. But just look at the foreground. There's no foreground interest leading you into the image. So what I'm left with is, what do I do? Do I do it from the front and try and get the leaves and just focus on the actual tree itself, or do I go from the back? But then you've got the other tree, and that's what I'm fighting all the time here. That's happened so many times, and I'm really struggling to fight past it and trying to work out another composition. So I think that's the difficulty with woodland photography. It's not coming here and just sort of taking images of colours and stuff like that. It's the actual trying to build the composition. So difficult, and this is what I'm really struggling with today. So I hope that explains some of the issues I've got with today and why I'm not actually taking so many images. I just can't seem to make it work. So another issue I'm coming up with today as well is not only the trees but also the sky. The sky seems to be bursting through each of the images I'm trying to take. So when I'm going low, shooting up at the tree, I'm getting lots of sky, which on a day when there's lots of colour in the sky wouldn't be an issue, but it's just gone grey and horrible. So I think I'm gonna have to call it a day. I'm heading back now. I've tried everything I can do with this shoot and I just can't seem to make anything work with it. So I think it's probably time to say goodbye to this location for now. As you can probably see in the background, the sky has just gone grey. There's no depth to it at all. There's no drama. It's just grey and flat, and it's just putting this horrible grey light on the forest. Every image I'm taking is just looking in the back of the camera and there's just nothing to it. So I think I've done all I can for today. My inspiration has gone from up here to rock bottom at the moment. Yeah, and I don't know if it's up here, where it's the actual location, where it's the light, whether it's the weather. I don't know. But it's probably time to end this vlog here. I'm not happy with the images I've taken. Yeah, and this is probably an honest insight what it's like to actually go out vlogging and doing video whilst you're doing photography. You're creating these videos to try and be entertaining, or as entertaining as possible, but you've also got to take the images as well, and I've not been able to do that. I've certainly not got any images that I can think back and think, oh yeah, well there's a couple that are going to work. I'm going to process them later on tonight and sort of see what we've got, and yeah, and publish them on here. But I don't think I've got any keepers, and that's really disappointing. I was really hoping for quite a lot today. When I first got here, the light was beautiful, it's streaming through the trees. There was a little bit of mist as well, and I should have just taken a load of images, run around and just gunned a load of images, but I didn't. I was wanting to sort of settle into the environment and sort of get my head into it, and the longer I've been here, the sort of more distant I've actually drawn away from it, and it's not right. So thank you for watching the video. It's certainly this far, it's not been the most positive, it's not been the most inspirational videos. I appreciate that, but I was going to destroy it and I was going to get rid of it, but I thought, no, let's publish it, let's edit it as I normally would, so you can see the good side and the bad side of vlogging and photography, and what woodland photography is all about. Now, I'm very new to woodland photography, but it's something that I'm not going to let it beat me, certainly this one bad time. So I'm going to continue visiting woodlands around the area, certainly while we're on lockdown, and yeah, just sort of recap it and sort of see what I can actually get from it. So again, apologies, but thank you for watching for so far. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. If you like the video, let me know, that'd be great, and give me a thumbs up, it's always appreciated. And yeah, leave a comment, I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. So from Delamere Forest in Cheshire, on what I thought was going to be an amazing day, but it's turned out quite flat, it's time to say goodbye. Take care, bye bye now.